sunshine.
Hi, I'm PickleballTerry, and I'm here to answer a few questions that my students ask me all the time. I'm a pickleball coach, PPR certified, and I have probably taught over 1,000 people how to play pickleball. So one of the questions I get asked all the time is, where did the name pickleball come from? Well, that's easy. Back in 1965, one of the wives decided to call it pickleball because after the pickle boat, which is in competitive rowing, and it's the last boat that gets all the leftovers from the other boats. So let's say you didn't make the boat and for your team, you're not considered, I guess, one of the best rowers, so you get knocked to the back boat, which is called the pickle boat. So a bunch of players from different boats, and pickleball is a bunch of games or sports, so hence the name pickleball. No, it was not from the dog Pickles. Pickles came after the game and they called him Pickles. So that answers that question. The next one I get asked all the time is the kitchen. Why do they call it the kitchen? They call it the kitchen because, okay, I should explain first what the kitchen is. It's 7 feet from the net, 7 feet on the other side, 20 feet across. And you cannot go into the kitchen and hit a volley. So it's also called the non-volley zone. So a volley is a ball that is popped up and you hit it before it bounces. That's a volley. You cannot do that standing in the kitchen. Why is it called the kitchen? Because in shuffleboard, you have that triangle of numbers and you try to get the puck into one of those numbers. If you go beyond the triangle, that is called the kitchen, and that is minus points, and they always say stay out of the kitchen. Hence that comes over to pickleball, stay out of the kitchen. So the only time you can go into the kitchen to hit a ball is after it bounces. However, that is confusing because if I know the ball is going to bounce into the kitchen, I can go into the kitchen before it bounces. The only thing I cannot do is volley a ball while I'm standing in the kitchen. Another thing is, if you dink a ball and then they pop one up, your opponents pop one up, and you jump up in the air and hit the ball, yeah, some people can do that, not me, that is a fault. What you have to do is you have to reestablish yourself out of the kitchen with both feet before you hit a fly ball. So remember, you're in there, you're dinking, and then they all of a sudden pop a ball up, you have to get out of the kitchen, reestablish yourself before you hit a volley, okay? Now a lot of people say, well, why did they even make that rule? I mean, why is there 7 feet here and 7 feet over there? You know, I'm a tennis player, I love rushing the net. And yeah, okay, but you cannot do that in pickleball. And the reason why they made that rule in pickleball is because the guys who invented this game for kids, and by the way, every time I see photos from 1965 of people playing pickleball, I never see kids. I only see the adults. But anyhow, I regress. So every time this guy, and one of the inventors, he was like, I don't know, 6'2" or something, he was rushing the net and slamming the ball. And he kept on doing that. And they were like, wait, we gotta make a new rule here that you can only hit the ball, 2 bounce rule, and then 7 feet, you have to stay back. We're gonna get this tape out, we're gonna tape it off on both sides, and you cannot slam the ball. You have to wait for the first and second bounce before you can come up to the kitchen and slam the ball. So that is why it makes it, I guess, more even, more fair. Okay, what's another one? Oh, the Nasty Nelson. Oh, I love telling this one in my classes because it's a shock value. Everybody, because I do it like a question and answer thing. I go, okay, what happens? I'm serving it to Pete, and Paul's up here at the net, and so I'm serving it to the receiver, but I hit Paul right in the chest. Who gets the point? And they always go, well, they do, or something like that, or nobody gets the point. But what happens if you're serving the ball and you hit somebody, it's called a Nasty Nelson, you get the serving side gets the point because good old Paul there should have been paying attention. So that is a real, and my class always goes, oh, I can't believe you can hit people in pickleball. But yeah, you can. And sometimes that's a good strategy. Now, the reason why it's called a Nasty Nelson is because the Nelson is the first name of the person who kind of invented that shot. Now, I understand last year or someplace, somebody did a Nasty Nelson in a sanctioned competitive play. It could have been the U.S. Open, which isn't sanctioned, but anyhow. Somebody, I've seen that video, it was women and doubles, and the serving team hit the girl at the net, one of her opponents, and that was the winning point. And I believe I saw in the referee rules that you can no longer do a Nasty Nelson on the winning point. Yes, but that's, believe me, that's only in tournament play. Still goes on in ref play. Okay, so let's see. Dinking. Oh, dinking is a good one. All right, so I always bring them up to the nets and we practice dinking, and they want to know, why is it called dinking? Why is it called dinking? Well, in volleyball, when those girls come up to the net and the guys come up to the net and they have a real soft ball and they just kind of over the net, real soft, real easy, it's called dinking. And because the same thing applies when we're at the non-volley zone line or the kitchen line, we're easily hitting it over the net. It's called dinking. And that's where that word comes from. So, I think I hit about all the main ones. If you have a question about one, feel free to drop me a line. Also, you can email me at dinkpickleball@gmail.com. And keep on playing pickleball. Keep it nice out there. Thanks. Bye.